See, a foolish person, you can get all that money. Person got sense, you just gonna get the amount he can afford to spend.
That's it.
I was reading the other day where we as a people, African American people, spending 8% of the national spending. We represent 8%, so this report says, of the national spending. We are not 8% of the population. So we are spending much more than is represented by our share or numbers in the population of this country. And that tells us what? That our spending indicates that we are well off in this country materially or financially.
That's right.
Our spending. If people look at nothing but the record of our spending, that data says that these people are better off financially than most of the Americans.
That's right. Yes.
Because we are spending much more than our share in the population. You understand what I'm saying? Our share and the number of people in this country says that we should be spending much less than what we are spending. What are we now? What, 11% or more? 12% maybe of the population? They say about 11%, huh? They say we're about 11% of the population. So here we represent 11% of the population, but we are spending 8% of the whole national spending for all the whole country. And just 11% of the population. And we say we are poor. There are other groups that I'm sure represent much bigger numbers than that of the population, but spending much less than that of the national spending. And we don't need any figures to tell us what's happening. You go to any house of these people that call themselves poor,
Yes.
go there and see how they live. You go into what they call the middle class whites, middle class European Americans, and they won't have, on the whole, you won't find them with as many cars and as later cars and models, as many TVs,
That's right.
as many phones,
Right.
as much carpet.
That's right.
You won't find them with that. You won't find them with as many refrigerators
That's right.
and as much stuff in the refrigerator. We can kill the baby crawling around the refrigerator by opening the door.
Yes, sir.
And another good indication of our heavy spending, that we spend more than other Americans. You know, and we're not even talking about the rich minority. There's a powerfully rich minority that's making so much, 1,000,000 times the money that we make as individuals. 1,000,000 times our salaries. They're making 1,000,000 times our salaries. And some of us have as much consumer products in our house and in our environment as those people making all that money.
That's it.
And then we say we're poor. How can you be poor? How are you poor? And you got a big car, all them cars out in front of your house. People can't find a parking place. You got a car, your wife got a car. Sometimes you got two, she got one.
Yeah.
3 or 4 teenagers in the family, each one got a car. You need a parking lot for your cars. A garage or something. City garage, a parking lot or something. Just for the cars. But you poor. Go to that house, yeah, go to that house. I guarantee you, I'm not exaggerating. Go to that house where the 2 grown-ups got 3 cars, and 2 or 3 or more teenagers, each one of them got a car. Go to that house and stay there long enough and you'll see the lights go off, the phone go off. It's their house, so they don't get no 5-day notice or nothing. They just lose the mortgage or something, you know, they lose the whole house. In time, the whole house gone. That's a shame.
Yes, it is.
Why? Why is that? Is it a moral issue? Certainly it is. Is it a social issue? Yes, it is. The family issue? Yes, it is. But more accurately in our identifying the problem, it is an issue of ignorance.